The extent and the targets of United States spying have dominated world news of late. It emerged recently the USA's National Security Agency had tapped the phone of German Chancellor Angela Merkel, causing outrage in Europe. Professor of International Relations Robert Patman is here to tell us the latest in the saga and where New Zealand fits in. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Tell us how this story broke. Where did the information on the phone tap originate? The
information originated from revelations from Edward Snowden and the German news magazine Der Spiegel. They obtained documents from Snowden, and they actually were so taken back by some of the revelations that Snowden provided, they actually contacted the German government and German intelligence, which followed up on the information provided and then confirmed, or apparently confirmed, that Angela Merkel's phone had been bugged or monitored, depending on your terminology, since about 2002.
Spying on our friends can't be something new, though. Isn't it something that's always been done?
I think there's always been a degree of informal spying amongst allies. It's known, for example, that American diplomats are monitored when they're overseas. But I think it's the extent and the intrusive nature of this episode which has come as quite a shock. Really, the technology has just developed so dramatically in the last decade, and Mr. Obama pointedly said that he's reviewing a situation where just because we can do something doesn't mean we should automatically do it, which is a reference to the technical capability. It now appears that the NSA, if it gets the telephone number of any particular individual, can effectively tap in to the communications of that individual now anywhere on the planet, which is a dramatic and breathtaking capability. And I think Mr. Obama now has his work cut out in possibly trying to rein in that capability.
What sort of information might the US want from phone taps like this?
I think, according to one of the officials who was testifying today in the United States, one of the things they're interested in is the intentions and the mindset of foreign leaders. And they believe that's crucial because it helps them read and gives them a steer on other bits of information which may be accumulating. Americans would say that they want this information for security reasons. They're engaged in a global struggle against terrorism since 9/11, and therefore they're interested in information everywhere. And so they would be, the National Security Agency, I suppose, would be quite reluctant to curb their activities as an organisation. And Mr. Obama, of course, as the Commander-in-Chief, would have the final say in that. But they may also, and this is where the German irritation and the European irritation develops, there's a suspicion that the Americans, in the name of security, are actually engaging in activities which are, how should I put it, orientated towards gaining commercial advantage. Interested in information about how German companies are operating and how Merkel stands on particular international economic agreements, etc., etc. So there's a suspicion amongst the Europeans that the Americans are spying on allies for commercial advantage.
New Zealand is a partner in the Five Eyes Intelligence Sharing Alliance. What does that involve?
Well, the Five Eyes, sometimes called Echelon, is an agreement amongst 5 English-speaking countries: Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, amongst them. And they basically agree not to spy on each other, but share intelligence signals and communications. And this information is gathered via satellite. And New Zealand is part and parcel of that system.
Now, there's recent news that President Barack Obama may order the NSA to stop spying on allies. Is that something that he might realistically do?
As I say, but as I tried to say earlier, I think he will certainly try. He said now they've stopped monitoring Angela Merkel's cell phone. I don't think they will become disinterested in information overnight. So I think it will be difficult to satisfy. What is happening, though, Rebecca, is the Europeans are now demanding to join the No Spy Club, which New Zealand is part of. That is, where countries come together and pool intelligence and agree not to spy on each other. So the Europeans are now demanding that the Five Eyes Club gets extended to include many of America's European allies.
Professor Robert Patman, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.